From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode, the Silver Tsunami is coming. We'll explain how secure is your place of business, and we raise a glass from a woman-owned brewery.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
There's a cultural shift coming, known by several names: the Silver Tsunami, the Gray Wave, the Great Wealth Transfer, as more baby boomers age out of the working world and, in our case, out of business ownership. Some will close up shop, others pass it on to family or sell it to new owners. According to Ray Drew, also known as SBA Ray, about $10 trillion worth of business assets are at stake.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Happy to be welcomed by a new guest here on Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Ray Drew, better known as SBA Ray, kind enough to join us. Thanks for being with us. Your nickname is intriguing and I think very appropriate for our friends watching. What does the SBA and SBA Ray stand for?
The SBA stands for U.S. Small Business Administration, which is what I've been doing my whole career, the past 12 years. There's a 7A program. It's the SBA's flagship loan program, and I use it to help get money out the door to small businesses all across the country.
In that regard, this week you've come up with an interesting topic that I think's been bubbling up for years and years, but now seems to be hitting full swing. This idea of, and it goes by a number of different names, the gray wave or the tsunami. What is it in essence, and how will it affect people on all sides of businesses, big and small?
The last few years, we're really seeing it. I mean, I've been doing this, like I said, 12, 13 years, and the last 3 or so, I've been feeling this movement, and I think it's fueled by what's estimated that 10 or 11,000 baby boomers are retiring every day, and a lot of them own businesses. Mm-hmm. And what we're seeing is that their kids, who are typically millennials, don't have that interest in taking over the family business as much as they used to. You know, these are manufacturing businesses, blue-collar businesses, the trades. And so when the sellers go to retire, they're having to sell their business in the open market. And that's where this great wealth transfer comes in. And a lot of people are sitting there, maybe they're in corporate America, and they're seeing it as their opportunity to get into small business ownership.
Is there advice for both sides of this? I mean, you have these people making a very difficult decision. Do they close up shop? Can they find a buyer? And then from the buyer's side, this is an excellent opportunity, it would seem.
Well, yeah, I mean, people certainly want financial freedom, but they also want to work for themselves. But not everyone has that $1 million idea to go start a business. And quite frankly, a lot of startups fail. So when you learn about the idea of buying an existing, already established business, you're able to cut through a lot of that startup risk and move right into a business that's already cash flowing.
Are there structures in place, ways to help that process actually happen?
Yeah, well, you know, like you said, there's two sides to the equation. So the seller side, you kind of have to, one, understand you can sell the business. There can be value in your business, and you should be preparing for that sale years in advance if you can to maximize your enterprise value, right? On the other side, the buyers are taking on both opportunity and risk. So they also want to be prepared and understand how to due diligence the business and make sure they know what they're stepping into. And the structure is typically 10% equity injection, so that's like a down payment. The seller often holds a little bit of a seller note. It's a way to keep their feet to the fire after closing. And then the SBA loan, which is what I provide, typically fills in the gap, which is the bulk of it, like 80%, and sometimes even higher than that.
The SBA portion of this, reach out through the SBA or providers like yourself?
Well, that's a really good question, because the SBA actually doesn't lend money. They provide a guarantee to lenders. So any bank or credit union can make an SBA loan, as well as some non-bank lenders that are in the space. My advice is always work with an expert, work with someone who knows the ins and outs of SBA lending, particularly if you're looking to buy a business, the business acquisition side of SBA lending, because it can do a lot of different things. And that is the one key piece of advice I tell everyone, because SBA is complex. The terms are great. People like it, but there's a lot of hidden landmines laying around.
We've talked a lot about from the side of, for instance, the current owners who are trying to figure out what to do. If there is a buyer lined up, what do they need to do to, in your words, get their ducks in a row for this to happen?
Yeah, so I talk to people every day. This is what I do. And I tell them you need three things. One, you need good credit, a track record of paying your bills on time. That's important. You need cash or assets to borrow against, sort of like a home equity line for that down payment. And finally, you need experience. This is an active investment where you are going to be stepping into the operator role. So you've got to come equipped with certain skills. Doesn't mean you need to know the ins and outs of the industry you're buying the business in, but you certainly should have relevant management experience and transferable skills so that you're well equipped to take over the business.
You mentioned complexities. There's another name for this, the Silver Tsunami. These are kind of terms that can make you think like this is a daunting time, and maybe, some pessimism and some fear reigns. Should we have that attitude, or is this instead actually a great opportunity for people from both sides of this?
Well, think about it this way. There is a loan that I closed last year for someone who had started out as a receptionist at a hair salon, put herself through beauty school, became a stylist, worked her way up, became a manager at the salon. And when the seller or the owner went to retire, they sold it to that manager who was the receptionist. And we facilitated an SBA loan, got a little creative with the structure, and that former receptionist became the CEO of her own business, which was, an incredible story.
There may be a tale in there as well worth telling about looking inward for your potential buyer. You may not have even thought of the people who've been alongside you the whole time as maybe being the ones to take things over. Ray, this has been good perspective for us today. SBA Ray Drew, first-time contributor, though. I'm hoping maybe a frequent contributor here on Business Equity and Opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities, and the time when we focus on a specific industry. In this case, an important question in modern business. How secure and safe is your workplace? One man who can give you an answer is Austin Smith, the CEO of Watchman Security.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
It all started really just with a public safety heart, public servant heart. I always wanted to help. I always wanted to jump in. I always wanted to what can I do to help? So it started there. And then we got the opportunity to actually execute what was in our heart. And that was cameras, physical security, and all those kind of cool things. The importance of business is having security is basically it's your dream that you're protecting by making sure you have the right security measures in place, not only just to protect your dream, but also to protect the people that are carrying your dream as well, too. So it's very, very important. Security should be like your lights. We provide 24/7 command center surveillance, as you can see here. This room is staffed 24/7, and the exciting thing about this room is we have technologies that can support enhancement of information reporting to businesses, rather how many people walk through the door, packages that shipped out. But then I would say the cherry on top would be our gun detection software that we have and that we've partnered with. This is software will give us the ability to detect when a firearm is taken from its holster and actually pointed at, an individual or pointed at a building. And just as recently, we actually had our first alert since the launch of the program. We were in this room here, and one of our surveillance officers noticed that someone took out an assault rifle behind a private business and started to practice shooting it in towards the ground. And this was like 2:00 in the morning. What in the world are we doing, right? And our surveillance officers was able to contact the Indianapolis Police Department. They were quick, on time, and that person actually, we have sirens and all those kind of things that we activate, and that person actually took off. So we look at that as a win, right? No one was shot. No one was harmed. Yes, that person got away, but that's one more person that is alive today that's went home that night. So we're just excited about that. So on these screens here, what we have are speakers at certain facilities that if we see illegal trash dumping, we can actually pick up the phone and actually talk to that person, hey, you're illegal dumping, you're under surveillance, please, return to your vehicle. And about 90% of the time, Ms. Peggy, they run. There's this kind of stigma. In order to get all of this here, the expense is going to be way up here. Our mission and our focus in this One Watch program is that safety should not be a luxury. Safety should be a given. And so through the One Watch program and all the collaborations and partners, we're going to make that happen. The refusal of, hey, I'll just do it on my own or I'll figure it out, is actually causing more of a problem. Right? You get with security experts, like us, you get with the police department, you get with our city that has great programs, and then we start talking and start moving things forward. When you partner with us, you have the ability now to say, hey, I've got a whole command center, right, of surveillance officers that are watching my property, and here is their, certifications, things like that. We're not only just coming in to do the services, but we're also providing some insurance to the property as well, too. So it's a great opportunity for businesses to protect their dream and also to reduce their expenses as well, too. I really, really, really want to focus on how can we make our city smarter and more connected and safer. And bringing those three things and those components together, that's really our focus and our mission. How do we make our city, our communities, neighborhoods, small businesses safer, connected, and more smarter? Because establishing those three things, it's going to make us more efficient. We're going to be able to be more connected. We're going to be able to support one another, right? In so many different ways. So there's technology that we're working on behind the scenes to be able to start that. Every day I get out of bed, my first focus, besides kissing my wife and my children, praying before I go to bed or get up and start my day, is how can I make a difference today? We had someone that he overdosed. He was behind a commercial property, and we observed individual falling out, and it was hot, and heat index was just, we knew either this gentleman needed some water or something was going on. So we saw it. Our team left where we are. We of course called 911, all those kind of things, but we were closer. Our team left this spot. We rushed over to that individual and found out that person overdosed. Our team is trained in administrating Narcan, so we actually administrated Narcan, and we actually saved that person's life. There's no check that can pay for that. That's what I wanted to accomplish when we started this business, when we started this services, saving lives, connecting people, and making a difference. That charged me. I mean, that was like, I told my wife, I said, hon, we did it. Let's keep pushing, through the challenges and through all that stuff, little things like that. Yeah.
Time for our success story, one in progress. Nicole and Ryan Esch met while working in the local craft beer industry and had long hoped or hopped to open their own brewery. They pulled it off in the Twin Air neighborhood of Indianapolis. The result is Kismetic.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
We opened Kismetic Beer Company back in April of 2022. Myself and my husband, we had both previously worked in craft beer before, but with the pandemic in 2020, I really had a chance to evaluate what I wanted to do and what kind of impact I wanted to make, and felt that it was our opportunity to go ahead and try to open our own brewery. It started just with a business plan, again, that I wrote during COVID, which was a weird time to write a business plan. Lots of waiting, because obviously obviously, for a number of reasons, everyone was waiting to see what's going to happen in the world. But we got the go-ahead to get started in 2021. And then we ran into some challenges with zoning, some things with the city. So it was pretty incredible. We spent about 8 months interacting with the neighborhood, having neighbors help us get signatures, going to neighborhood meetings, and that's ultimately, however, how we were able to get the approval to move forward with this space and get started on our construction. And then Ryan and I, with the help of some of our very talented friends, did most, if not all, of this build out ourselves. So it really was a labor of love in here. So this is 201 Studios. It's home to about 30 or so different artists and makers throughout the whole building. We have furniture makers, jewelry makers, folks that do like large scale light installations and a little bit of everything in between. So that's our neighbors immediately in the building, which is a great community to be a part of. And in our actual neighborhood, it's been amazing because a lot of the folks that live here have lived here most of their lives, have live in the childhood home that they grew up in, a lot of them. So it's been neat to have them come over, meet us, and share stories about the history of this building where a lot of their parents worked here when it was like a radiator factory. We're really focused here on lager-style beers, as well as lower ABV beers. Most of the beers you find here will not be above 7% ABV. We also have a really wide variety of beverages that are from other producers, but that are like ciders, seltzers, gluten-free beers, wines, CBD waters, like something for everything. A big focus on non-alcoholic options was really important to me when we were getting started. Basically, what we started designing the product for was something that we wanted to drink. I mean, really what we do here every day is make the beer that we want to have that we didn't necessarily find in the market already. We have some really exciting things coming up. It's actually really timely. We actually just were awarded the Elevate grant. So we had applied for that back over the summer. We just got awarded that at the beginning of the month. So that's going to allow us to make some very substantial upgrades to the brew house. We'll be able to have bigger tanks, brew more capacity, and offer more beer. That also is going to go hand in hand with us starting to offer some to-go beer options. So we've been working closely with really talented designers, Guide and Anchor, to design these beautiful labels for bottles, and we're going to have that coming out soon. Hopefully by the end of the year, but it might be more like Q1. We have a biannual open house here, super fun event. We have, you can stop in the tap room, grab a drink, go out. Everyone always wonders what's back behind the door in the back, and that is the entrance to the rest of the studios. Typically, the building is off limits to the public, but twice a year you can come shop small. Taylor will be here with tacos and just check out the whole space. So that's on December 9th. It'll be from 4 to 9. Family friendly. The tap room is 21 plus, but the rest of the building is family friendly. And you can just kind of walk around, check out the space. RJ, our landlord, is really creative in how he even just renovated the hallways. It's really beautiful. Just come check it out and get some Christmas shopping done. It's been really amazing to see the community that's grown out of this space. That's something I didn't necessarily anticipate, and it's been wild to see folks that, were complete strangers when we first opened the doors that now are people that we, routinely love to see, that we see outside of the building. And not just for us, but how folks here have met each other and are now like fast friends has been really cool to see. So that makes me really excited that we are creating a space that feels really good and comfortable and inclusive to everyone, because that was part of it from the beginning.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, beoshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.